So I'm gonna start, 4 minutes, timed, quantity over quality. You write as many things you can. What are the worst things that can happen in a brainstorming? 3, 2, 1, stop. Superb. That was intense, right? 4 minutes. I mean, if you really stick to the very, very challenging timing of 4 minutes, I'm pretty sure you have between 3 and 10 answers on your paper now. If you have less than 3, that means you are a little bit ashamed of your own outputs, and you should definitely put things out there. Between 3 and 10, you're a very good brainstormer already. You've seen you're already much more, you have more outputs than if you were doing that in a group potentially. So 10, you're very good. More than 10, wow, your brain acts very fast. You're not ashamed, and you can now have 15 different type of answers under the eyes, right? So I did the same exercise the last time with the group I animated. We had 40 people, so we gathered all this afterwards, asking like, someone, can you tell me 3 of the main reasons why brainstorming do not work? What are the worst things? So that person told me these 3 reasons. Then another one complemented. By the end, I think we found 16, 15 different reasons, and I'm pretty sure there are more. So let's come on the 2 or 3 reasons. A bully tries to push his ideas onto the group. You have someone who's in the group really pushing for his own egocentric type of ideas, very territorial. That person is usually frustrating everyone and can be your boss or can be someone with a position of authority in the group, and that's very, very limiting for everyone. The second one, someone starts criticizing an idea before it's even well articulated. That happens all the time. You're not even sure about what you're putting out there, and someone comes, block it for other reasons, because that person has trouble to understand the idea himself, so prefer to block it as to verbalize his own opposition and understanding. People get blocked, no one starts. That happened to me. You remember this story, coming to the group, who has an idea, 30 seconds, no one answers. Eventually, that's going to be blocking for a lot of people, especially introverts, and we stick to no outputs. People are scared of their own ideas, do not write them down. That might have happened to people who made the exercise and had less than 3 outputs in 4 minutes. Well, I'm going to 11. You can read the whole list afterwards. The facilitator imposes his own ideas. That happens a lot as well when people are not trained. You tend to deliver the solution at the end by yourself. In fact, the main problem, and I think that's something very, very subtle to understand, but you will relate immediately, is that particular person. That particular person is 1.80 meters plus. It's quite tall. Is white in general, is a male, and is between 30 and 40 years old. This person is called a bully, because we are sort of wired psychologically to agree more with people who look like this particular archetype. Male, white, in a position of seniority almost now, and tall. Look, this is me. And we have to fight against this particular bully in a group, but you also have to fight about this particular bully in your head sometimes. Because that particular bully is always in your mind telling you that's not good enough. You're not good enough. You can't have great ideas. Shut up. Follow the rest of the group. Just listen. If you're an introvert, I'm pretty sure this bully is ever present in your mind. It might not be white and tall, but at least there is someone there. So the whole thing is to fight against this bully. And I will explain you how the brain works. The brain works into systems. So there's no like left and right brain. It doesn't exist. That's something we like to tell as a story, but the real thing in neuroscience is that the brain is separated into systems. If you're interested into that, you can look into the research of Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize in economics, who researched all his life on behavioral psychology. So these 2 systems, how do they work? The first system of our brain is immediate. It does things immediately, you don't think about it. It's automatic, right? It is very emotionally driven and it's very visual. When you're reading a book, a great story, for instance, you're into a very great narrative book, you don't feel about the time, you don't think about the time, you just go through the story. You're very much into system 1, you follow everything and you're like, oh my God, 4 hours passed already. I was reading this amazing story. What happens when you read a bad book, right? Or a very technical book, something that's really painful to you? Well, you switch into system 2. You're self-conscious, you think about thinking, you're rational, very rational, you're very data-driven. In general, you look for numbers. That's a moment where your brain switch into system 2. You're very textual. So if I tell you 2 plus 2, how much is 2 plus 2? System 1, 4. If I tell you how much is 11 per 63, 11 per 63, you're in system 2. You're not sure. Even if you actually get the answer right, you will doubt yourself all the time. When you're in a brainstorming session, what happens is that if someone comes and tells you who has an idea, which system is triggered? System 1, automatically you can say something, it's intuitive, it's brilliant, or system 2. You're self-conscious, you're not sure, you're analytical, you doubt, well, you're in system 2, definitely. Very few people are in system 1 automatically in this sort of situations. Usually it's because, as I said, they tend to say something and realize what they said, and they verbalize their thinking, and that helps them think actually. Well, system 1, system 2, we need to bypass system 2 if we want to think correctly, if we want to think fast, if we want to be amazed by what we can actually produce. So the technique of brainstorming is mostly about how we bypass system 2. Another example of system 1 and system 2 I really love, this is a door handle, right? It's to open a door, classical thing. In which system do we open a door usually? System 1 or system 2? Definitely system 1. You don't want to think about opening the door, right? So what happens in this case? You just use the door handle, open, close the door, that's it. Would there be any reason to design something in system 2, a door handle in system 2, so that people are conscious of their actions, self-conscious in this case, and really have to do the work with their mind, right? So, any reason? Well, security doors. In most cases, you want to design the security door in system 2 so that people are conscious of opening or closing the door very strongly. I work, for instance, with a research center in nuclear safety, and I can assure you that you want people to close the door, right? So you want them to switch into system 2. And if you're on a submarine, system 2. So now, the whole thing about brainstorming. I told you what is it useful for. You understand that we need to bypass system 2. Why brainstorming is useful. Imagine you could have so many ideas, that's the whole thing, so many ideas that you could be generating solutions to any problem. Any problem. And be sure, have the confidence that this is the actual best solution you could find. Let's say you're going for your next holidays, right? So you're going for your holidays, you usually have 1 or 2 potential options. Let's see now you have 15 options that are all related to what you like, okay? You've laid out in a very quick brainstorming session 15 different options to go in holidays. And now through that, we're gonna also learn a technique to classify and say, hey, that's actually the one I prefer. That's the one that check and tick all the boxes. I want to go in holidays there because I'm pretty sure now that's gonna be the best ever option. You can apply it to anything. I apply it into professional context. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have the opportunity to do it. You're gonna have to force yourself to do it, but you will see that you can apply it to anything, right? So that's what we're gonna learn. And this particular certitude, this particular confidence in your own outputs, that's gonna be a massive byproduct of that. You will see, I'm not afraid anymore to tackle any type of challenge. If suddenly I'm French, the French president was coming to me with a problem, I wouldn't be scared. I would know that I have mental techniques to solve most of the problems. So the first technique, the one we practiced slightly before, the 4 minutes small exercise I asked you to do is called burst brainwriting. Burst because it has to be very fast, brainwriting because you don't talk to others. You start by writing everything from your mind onto a paper. So now this time, if you have post-its, I would definitely encourage you to take them with you. If you don't have post-its, we're going to continue with this paper and pen, right? The whole idea of having post-its is that you can move them around in the second phase. And that's very useful for classifying them strategically. It's not to make it fancy, but it's good to have a new block of post-its with colors so you really feel excited about the session. If you're organizing, facilitating brainstorming in groups, always bring new post-its. People are very much more into the game if they have new shiny tools. So burst brainwriting, 3 rules. The first one, 4 minutes. That's going to be a timer again. Take your smartphone or follow on the video the 4-minute timer I'm going to put. The second thing is always timed, okay? It cannot be not timed. Otherwise, your brain switched back into system 2. When it's when you have the timing pressure, you're always coming back to system 1. You will see in the exercise that when you start to doubt yourself, look at your watch, and I'm sure, 100%, that your brain is gonna switch back into a very fast pace. Finally, paper-based. Why paper? Why not a digital computer or something else? Because you're not trained yet. If you're trained into burst brainwriting, you're very proficient, use eventually a digital tool like a tablet. I recommend a real keyboard so it goes as fast as your brain. I do it myself that way, okay? So first, what is gonna be our main question we're gonna resolve? Let's find a challenge, okay? I'm gonna give you 1 minute to find a challenge. I would like you to address a real challenge, okay? Some people, for instance, would like to know what are they good at. I'm not sure what I'm good at, or what is a real passion. We always talk to find your real passion. Well, you need a technique to actually find your real passion most often. Another way is find your why, a very, very deep question. Find your why. Why am I actually living, doing things? Why am I building this company or progressing in my job? Find your why is an amazingly complex discussion, an amazingly complex exercise. It takes 3 or 4 years if you're not structured. In this case, we could find already extremely good solutions in 4 minutes. You have another challenge, whatever it is, take it, okay? I'm putting a timer now for 1 minute. Please take your smartphone or follow the timer on screen and do that particular exercise. 1 minute is nothing in your life. Find a challenge, okay? 3, 2, 1, stop. Find your challenge.